Praise God.
And if you belong to Christ, who holds the power and the healing abilities, that same power and healing abilities belong to you too. You too also have self-healing abilities and that same power that Christ brought you with. Isn't that nice? You should be glad to answer that.
To make a change, because right away, they say, well, I got to change, right? I got to make this transformation in my life, right? But, exactly how long it's going to take, because that could be a long process. That process can...
Marcus Hart Transform You Radio Show. The only radio show where you can make real results and start living in your purpose. Visit MarcusHartEnterprises.com. MarcusHartEnterprises.com.
Hello, people, my people, my people. And welcome to another addiction. I think it was an addiction. Oh, yes, you are addicted. I hope you are addicted to Transform You live broadcast. We are back for another amazing show. We have another amazing guest. We are on interview 10 for the year. Interview 10. Can you believe that? It's happening so fast, and we keep rolling along as a very young podcasting network / broadcasting network. And we just excited, with the many changes, with the many guests that we're bringing on board. They have so much to offer all of our audience, and it's getting kind of hard to choose which one is my best. Each time I say I have found my best guest yet, here comes another awesome and amazing guest. Yeah, right now there's no updates to provide you other than, what's getting ready to take place right now. Just to give you a quick spiel on our guest. Our guest is Debi Silber. Debi is recognized for her health, weight loss, fitness, wellness, lifestyle, and personal development expertise. She's also a speaker, consultant, and author of 2 books that's been recommended by many faces that we are familiar with, from the likes of Brian Tracy and Jack Canfield and many more. And, she's also the face of the Mojo Coach, which is her personal brand. And, she's just an awesome and amazing person. And, it's truly a blessing to have her on board here with us today. She's been a huge contributor to many different major outlets. One of my favorite ones, the Dr. Oz Show. So I'm excited. So if you're not excited, I will be excited for you. And when she begins to speak, she will blow you away. Trust me. If she's found our show and if we have accepted her, trust me, she's worth the wait. And the wait won't be any much longer. So without further ado, let's give it up for Debi Silber.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you, Debi. So how are you doing today?
Chat.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So how are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Oh, that's awesome. And can you just give us a little spiel? They heard me say so much about you and brag, but let's hear it in your own words a little bit about yourself.
Let's see. Well, the brand happened because here I was, actually it was 2007. I've been in health forever, but 2007, 2008, I had a husband and a home and 4 kids and only 4 dogs back then. We have 6 now. And this full-time business as a dietitian and a trainer, and clients were getting lean, were getting fit, but I was becoming very unhealthy. And at the same time, I had these really toxic relationships and way too much stress, and I was trying to be everything to everyone all the time. And I started to get sick, first with symptoms, and I blew it off because I was too busy, and symptoms turned into illnesses, and again, I just didn't have the time. I was a business owner, a mom, blew it off, and then conditions started showing up, and eventually disease. And It got so bad, I lost it all. I couldn't get out of bed. You name it, I had it. And I was supposed to be the picture of health, and I was anything but. So I had that light bulb moment where I said, this has to have something to do with the way I'm living and my level of stress and my mindset. So I had surgery. And while I healed, I studied to become a whole health coach, and that's a health expert trained to teach you how your lifestyle either creates health or wellness or illness and disease. And sure enough, the way I was living and thoughts I was thinking created it all. So I didn't experiment. I had nothing to lose. So I thought, okay, well, I am eating well and exercising already, so that's not a piece of the equation here. What would happen if I changed those other things, my relationships, my overwhelm, my stress, my outlook? I did, and over the next 9 months, I healed. I healed from everything. Got my mojo back, started working with clients again, but this time in such a different way. They all started getting their mojo back, and shortly after that, books, products, services all just started coming out of me because I felt like I had the secret now to lasting weight loss, fitness, wellness, and happiness, and it really is a formula, and it's become a proven system, and I'm honored to say thousands of people have gone through it ever since, and it's just really a thrill.
Wow, amazing. You definitely are the poster child for transformation. So you belong here, definitely. And and just listening to your story, what was the driving force or the motivation behind, where you decided, well, I got nothing to lose, let's just do this? What was really, the honest motivation behind it?
Yeah, and it's interesting because that's the way my entire business runs now, and transformations can happen all the time. And I notice I have two types of clients. They either want to prevent the life crisis or they want to heal from one. And it's when we are at that rock bottom place where you truly have nothing to lose. That's such a magical time. I mean, it's hard to see it that way sometimes, but when there's that tragedy, illness, crisis, trauma, it's a wake-up call, and it gives you the perfect timing and the perfect opportunity to take a look and really evaluate what's not working and what do I need to do differently, because we so often, it's just easier to stay numb. Recently I did a TEDx talk. It's actually at the bottom of my site if anybody wants to see it, debisilber.com. But but it's all about sabotage. Why is it that we walk around numb or things are even going well and we sabotage ourselves? And very often it's because, we're headed for that transformation. So with me, that was a big one for sure, and there have been many, and it was in hitting that rock bottom place that I just took a look and said, okay, clearly what I'm doing isn't working, and the universe gives you all the signs you need until you pay attention. And then I took a hint in a big way, and it changed my life. And it was so in those tragedies, very often it's the best thing that could have happened.
Right. We all should look at it more like that in that way. And so would you say that sabotage, is it more of a self thing, or is it more of just environmental things? And particularly looking at health.
Yeah. Well, it's both, actually. I see it all the time where, like, here's an example. I'll have somebody and they'll say, I don't get it. I'm doing so well and I feel so good. And all of a sudden my partner's bringing home, donuts and pastries. And what the heck is that all about? Well, they're trying to sabotage them. And here's typically what goes on with that. Two things. First of all, number one, clearly that person feels left behind. When the one who's losing weight or getting healthy is off in this whole new direction, well, the other person may not even be conscious of it, but secretly they're thinking, okay, well, what about me? Where does that leave me? And the second thing is, it's sort of forcing them to take a look at what they've been doing or what they haven't been doing, and they may not be ready and they may not want to. So often it's one of those sort of, unspoken conversations, and that's something that I'll work on with clients, saying, okay, this is going to be something that is sort of the elephant in the room, and bring this to the table, because it's clearly your transformation is a threat to your partner, and there's a way to work through it, but it's without that awareness we don't know. And then there's the self-sabotage, and that's where there's a clear benefit with staying stuck. Because, when your world is shaken up by this change, well, how does that affect your world? How does that affect the people around you? How does that affect, your work, your home life, all of it? We know what's familiar and comfortable, and there's something safe about that. And that transformation really requires us to go through kind of our comfort zone in an unknown space, and it shakes us up and the people around us.
Definitely. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm loving this conversation here. You definitely are talking my language and the language of those out there who, understands and totally gets it. But what happens a lot, is beliefs. Sometimes we fighting with the beliefs, of the past and beliefs of those around us and in our own house. So how do we deal with those battles?
Sure. Well, the first thing is, we look at beliefs like they're facts, and they're not. A belief this is what a belief is, and I really invite all your listeners to just really think about this. A belief is no more than the repetition of an idea from someone you trust. That's it. And all that means is someone said something to you enough times that you trusted, a parent, a teacher, someone in a religious capacity, whatever, and that's all you needed, and it became your belief. It's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. It just became your belief. And we don't question it. We just don't question it. But that doesn't mean those beliefs serve you. So the idea is, we need to access those beliefs, and because they drive every single thought, behavior, action we have. And, take a look at your life. Your life is a complete representation of the beliefs you hold. And if you don't like what you're seeing and what's showing up, well, that's because of the beliefs. And here's where, I'm sort of known as come to me as the last stop, because we get at it from the roots. And people say, oh, Deb, I've been down this road of, a bunch of times, or whether it's weight loss, fitness, health, life, a bunch of times, and I still get stuck. And I explain to them like this. When we want to make changes, it's really reasonable to say, okay, well, I want to make a change, so I'm going to change my behaviors, right? Different behavior, different result. Well, that's good, but that's why we don't have lasting results. And here's why. I take it a step further and I say, okay, well, what's the reason why that behavior exists in the first place? It's because of the belief behind it. You want to get to results once and for all. What you need to do is not just change the behavior. You need to change the belief. So when you change the belief, it'll automatically change the behavior, which will automatically change the result. So that's really
powerful.
Yeah, so that's really getting at it from the roots. And to find out what your beliefs truly are, it's as simple as this. Just write down, I'm so ... I can't ... I'll never ... And when you have some time and some space, see what shows up. And whatever follows, that's what's been running you.
Wow. And you just gave us a secret formula right there. The I can't and I am so... That's wow. That's very powerful stuff right there. You're giving us some nuggets. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah. And I'll take it a step further. You want to learn how to change those beliefs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. The way it works is it's almost like tracks in your brain. When those beliefs were formed, it was as if, they're called neural receptors, it's as if a track was laid down in your brain. And then what happens is we just confirm it over and over and over again. It's like a deeper and a deeper and a deeper groove. And this is why, so many people talk about affirmations like, oh, affirmations are great. I kind of have my own spin on it. And let's just take a morbidly obese woman. Let's say 400-pound woman says, I'm a lean, mean 125. Right? That's her affirmation. Well, her brain kicks in and says, no, you're not. And it's not believable. So what I like to do with my clients is to build what's called a bridge. And a bridge is no more than just a believable statement that you could grab onto so you can lay down a new track. So like for that obese woman I was just talking about, for her to say I'm a lean, mean 125, her brain's going to kick that right back. But if she's eating a little bit differently, can't she say I'm eating healthier every day? Right? Sure she can. So if every time she says, I'm so fat, and she, through repetition and consistency, she says, oh, wait, what was I supposed to say again? Oh, yeah, I'm eating healthier every day. If she commits to that new bridge, what she will do over time is actually lay down a new track. And what happens over time is the old track of I'm so fat becomes the new track of I'm eating healthier every day. The old track loses its charge. The new one takes over, and that's literally how you change your mind.
Wow. That's great stuff. Yeah, so like, you have worked with a lot of successful professionals in your day, in thinking about success right now, what exactly does that mean to you, personally?
Yeah, well, to me, it means abundance in the areas that are important to you. Like for me, I have a husband, a home, and and these four kids and all these animals, and I'm doing the work I love, and now I'm in my first semester. I decided to go back for a PhD, in addition to my business in psychology, because I'm doing it anyway with everybody. So It's just always been a love of mine. So for me, abundance is what lights me up, what brings me joy. If this is, I have X amount of years here, how am I going to go through it where I can say I made an impact? I changed whoever it was that was meant to be changed by my words, by my path, by whatever. To me, that's abundance. It's serving at the highest level, and to me, that can be seen through the work that you do. That's just an expression of your best talents being shared with those who need it most. So for me, doing what I do, getting people, it used to be in my business, I'd get them, let's say, healthy, or, I'm known to get a diabetic off of insulin in 4 weeks, let's just say, or break a lifelong sugar addiction, whatever. And that was sort of the end. And now my next transformation, and I see it's evolved where we just do the health stuff because then you physically feel better, you gain more confidence, you have more clarity, and then we can really get to work. And then it's like, okay, now why are you here on this planet? What are we here to do? So very often, client will come in for health, and they'll leave with a new business, or they'll leave with a new relationship, and that's and that to me is abundance.
Wow. That's like going to Walmart or Target and coming out with something extra. But this is good stuff for you.
They didn't count on it, but they, when you clear all that up, because when you're in pain or when you don't feel well or when you don't have confidence, you're consumed with that. You can't see past that. So we get through all that stuff. So, and it's strategic. I do that. So then when they say, oh, I can't do that, I can't think differently, I can't say, really? You nailed a 40-year sugar addiction week one. So I use it to my advantage that way, and they soar, they take off.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that's great. You're doing a good service here. Now I just want to ask you, get your opinion on something here. We see today in Sports Illustrated that they have put 3 different types of women on the cover, and with your own assumption, do you really believe that they're more so trying to promote, that feel good attitude, that live your best attitude, versus, moving away from just good health, or what good health looks like?
Well, a couple things. It's sort of a loaded question, so we could break this down into a lot of parts. Number one, I think they're trying to sell magazines, right? That's a pretty big thing. But it's, as a woman, and I have 4 kids, 2 are girls and 2 are boys. The media, it's brutal. It's brutal for women because think about what's glorified. Youth and beauty, a standard of beauty that by so many people is really hard to achieve. So what I found is, there's your healthiest version of you. And it could be very different from someone else's unique version of you. Now, anybody who's obese, you can't be physically healthy. You're just not. It's too much on your heart. It's too much on your organs. So that's just not. But there are body types that may not look like what we know as the ideal, and who created the ideal, right? That can be completely healthy. And part of that is it's got to be mentally healthy too. It's what is it? What size is it? What shape is it where you feel good in your own skin? And for whatever age you're at and whatever stage you're at, what makes you say, wow, I have the energy, the vitality, the strength that I need to really feel good. So to me, and with my clients, it's about, it's just about what's a body, because a body is really just a vehicle taking us around that's helping us do what we need to do while we're on this planet. So what's the best version of a vehicle you can create here that can help you do what you need to do, because you have a big message and a big mission and lots to do, and you need the energy and the confidence to support it. So what does that body look like? And that's what we create.
Wow, that's great. Wow, so man, you just offered us a lot of good information here, and you're giving us all a big eye opener and just opening up our minds to some new stuff here. You know, although it may not sound new, it's definitely new stuff. Tell us a little bit more about, Mojo Fuel Bars.
Oh, well, because I said before, one of the things I do is really help someone break a sugar addiction. I mean, it's just so toxic and so poison. But if we don't know how to do it, it's hard. So the bars are really, Mojo Fuel Bars, and I have a line of shakes too. It's just to make it easy. My clients are busy, and everything I create, whether it's a program, whether it's a product, it's designed for that busy person who just wants lasting results. I've done the work for you. You just have to unwrap it and eat it. So it's easy. And what I did was really to create them. I mean, I tried everything, and I looked at every single label, and I said, okay, how do I create something that'll just blow the doors off of what's out there? And what I did was I tested them without the label. And, your kids will never say anything to try to impress. I mean, my kids anyway, to try to make me feel good. So they tried it, and they're like, wow, Mom, these are really good. Where'd you get them? And I was like, oh, wow, it's a home run. So they're gluten-free. They're 100% organic. They're high in quality protein and healthy fat, and high in fiber, and very low in sugar. And there's two flavors. There's Elevate, which is warm apple cinnamon. That one's dairy-free too. And the other is Ignite, and that's chocolate almond coconut. And I don't go a day without them.
Wow. Now, if these things are good enough to please kids, they got to be great.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, and it's funny because now when the test case they didn't mind, but now they have my picture, and so they don't want to bring them out because they feel weird about it. But that's okay. When they're home, they eat them.
Well, I definitely want to try one. I'm going to put my order in. You can count me in.
Yeah,
so,
they're great, and there's all kinds of testimonials on the site about them.
So you have two books too. So are those books fall in the line of the health and fitness and just the mind shifting?
Yeah. Well, the first one was written, that was 2008, and that was, that was written actually for moms, and it's called the Lifestyle Fitness Program. And that was what sort of emerged after my crash and burn, and Jack Canfield endorsed it in Parenting Magazine. And then what had happened was I was doing a lot of speaking, going around and doing some corporate work, and then, the guys would say, well, what about us? So book number 2 was born, and that was, that's called A Pocket Full of Mojo, 365 Proven Strategies to Create Your Ultimate Body, Mind, Image, and Lifestyle. And what this is, it's just 365 tips. And body, mind, image, and lifestyle random. And the idea is you flip it open, you read a tip, and you get on board. You get a little bit healthier. And the way it's really used is I do some corporate work, and they'll bring in these big wellness programs, and they spend all this money, and they fall flat because the healthiest and fit participate, but the ones who cost the companies the most and who need it the most are left behind: the diabetics, the heart patients, the cancer patients, and the obese. And I said, well, why don't I just write a book that's just a tip series so everybody could get on board? And no matter what size, no matter what level of health you're in. And so a lot of companies just get the book, and this way it really builds up a team.
Oh, that's great. So, a question that I get a lot too, is, about creating the lives we want most. What are some immediate steps that we can take to create the lives we want?
First you want to see what's in your way. Is it your health? Is it your eating? Is it your exercise? or is it your level of stress? You know, I'm also a functional diagnostic nutritionist, so I test people for stress-related issues. And I'll tell you, on the outside, they may look fine. There's a train wreck waiting to happen, you know, on the inside, and I see it from the labs. So, you know, is your stress level will get you. It got me. I mean, that's what it was, no matter how well you're eating or exercising. Is it your relationships, you know, that are just so bad for you that it's you know, that it's just really messing with you, or you know, your mind, you know, your mindset, your beliefs. What is it? And just start small. Just get to work on some of them, and just make a decision that, you know what, the way I've been living, the way I've been thinking, who I've been with, really hasn't served me, or the way I've gone about it, and what changes can I make to change? You know, everything you do can only bring you one of two ways: further or closer to the body, health, lifestyle you want. So if you just say, what direction is this taking me in, you know, and you make a decision to make decisions that take you closer, I mean, I think that's all you can do.
Awesome. I love it. Now, if the audience want to get in close contact with you, or they want to, you know, contact you, you know, directly, what is the best way to do that?
Just go right to DebiSilber.com, DEBI, S like Sam, IL, B like boy, ER.com.
Okay, and can you just repeat that one more time for us?
Sure, DebiSilber.com. So it's D like David, E, B like boy, I, at. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm giving you my it's DebiSilber.com. So Debi, DEBI, S like Sam, IL, B like boy, ER.com.
Awesome. Now, before we part ways here, you know, because we are coming to a close here, and this has been a phenomenal, you know, interview. You know, you are, you know, now one of my best and favorite guests to come on board. You know, because you offer so much, and you very well informed, you know, in terms of transformation. You know, so what final words would you give us?
You know, I would say every single person listening, every single one without exception, has a unique strength, gift, talent, calling. There is something you do that no one else on the planet does like you. And you're doing yourself and the world a disservice by not sharing it. And the reason why you're not sharing it is only because you either have fear, doubt, or old habits in the way, or a lack of awareness. So consider this your wake-up call, and have that awareness, and get the fear out of your way, and get those old habits out of your way, and do what you're meant to do.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, so it's a question that I always ask all of my guests that come on, you know, when something's big happening. And right now, what's happening right now in America is, you know, the election's coming up. And, you know, is there a favorite that you may have, or, you know, or just...
You know, I got to tell you,
I know it's so hard.
It makes my stomach turn to see how brutal it gets. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, well, they're fighting like, you know, kids in the schoolyard. And I'm thinking, this is who's going to run the country. Personally, I can't get past that. I'm stuck right there.
Yeah, and that happens to a lot of us, especially this time. You know, yeah, it's something about this election season that's not right.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it's delivering more toxin into the world that we don't need. You know,
yeah.
So. Well, it's been awesome. You know, we hope to have you again in the future. You know, you definitely been a blessing to us today, and we really appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure, and thank you for having me on.
All right, most definitely. Now, to all of you out there who may be replay viewers, or you may be on live, you know, if you haven't already, make sure you join TransformUBroadcast.com. That's TransformUBroadcast.com. Sign up for the free membership, and you'll be able to have access to this recording of this interview and many others. We will have Debi's contact information right above the recording of the show in her interview, so that you can get in contact with her and get some of those great Mojo Fuel bars that I'm going to be after, including the shakes too. So until then, many blessings, peace, and love to each and every one of you guys.